Welcome to the course for Azure SQL DBA with networking concept. In this course, we are going to discuss about PaaS, that is called Platform as a Services. This is also one of the services in Azure. That one we are going to learn into the next video session. This course is very useful and helpful for those who are working as a SQL Server DBA and want to build their career on Azure. When you are talking about cloud, it is very important to learn the networking concept. I have already created one course on infrastructure as a services, and I thought like I will include the all topic here, but this course is become very lengthy, so I have created other course on platform as a services. And if you'll go to this course, then you will come to know why I am saying that networking is very important for the cloud, right? So whatever thing we are going to learn on this, we will try to just compare with the networking things also. So coming to this my course, so first thing is very important. Okay, whatever topic we are going to discuss here, this is the introduction of the cloud, and I have already explained this every topic in my other courses. That one is platform as a services, that is infrastructure as a services, which one I have already created this course. Here also I have discussed the same topic, which one we are going to discuss today. So today we are going to learn why we need cloud and what are the advantage of using the cloud. And okay, so various type of cloud is available, so that everything we are going to learn today, right? So who has already gone through my previous course, that is the infrastructure as a services, maybe this you will find like this today's session is almost same as their introduction what I have explained in that course. Coming to now, so if you are going with the cloud, why? That is the first need, is like cost saving. So you can save the lot of cost if you are going with the cloud, because if you are going with the cloud, you don't need to take the any hardware. No need of like building that your proper team. Like if you are talking about like if you have to build the SQL server, so how it will be going to work? You need like one team, which one is like installing the VM virtual machine, or right after that you need the networking team to add the storage and all. You need some network storage team to add the storage. You need the networking team for firewall and all network related stuff. Then you need some SQL DBA who is going to install the SQL server. So there is the multiple of teams is required. But if you are going with the cloud, even the single person can perform this all work. That's why nowadays all people is going through all companies going through the cloud, because and in the SQL DBA only work has increased. Now I have seen the many people who is doing installation of virtual machine, installing of the SQL server. This every work is done by SQL DBA nowadays. So because of the cost cutting, because so how the cost cutting will done? Because that's why that all company is going to the cloud. That is very important thing is the cost saving. Because of cost saving, we all are moving. All company are moving to the cloud. It is very easy to maintain also, because if you are going with your on-prem server, you can see you need the multiple of team to support your infrastructure. But if you are going with the cloud, everything single people will support, right? A single people they will assign. He will only going to install the SQL server, building the VM, some network related of things also he will do that. Next is pay as you go. Pay as you go means how much you are going to use, right? That much only you have to pay. It is not like you have in the on-prem you have to take no a data center. In that date you have to build your data center, you have to build your server, right? So this all are very costly. So you need the hardware, even you are not using that time, right? So but you have to pay, right? You are going to pay in that you have to pay this, right? Before, when you are buying the hardware and all. So so what happened? So in the cloud it is not required. So data center is there with some different company. Like I'm we are going to discuss here about Azure cloud. So Azure cloud is the Microsoft, right? So Mike, the data center is with the Microsoft, and he is going to handle each and everything. You are taking just part of some hardware and etc. for that. So you don't have to buy the full infrastructure, right? You don't have to create the infrastructure, right? So that's why how much you are going to use, just pay that one. It is like, looks like you are taking something on rent, right? So that is, this is also very very important things, pay as you go. And here also I can say people is saving the cost. So next is no need of planning before. Like what will be happen in the on-prem server, if you are, if it is going, uh, if there will be something called any festival, or it is big billion sale, so that time what happened, lot of user will be going to connect with your application, right? that time that time people has to plan before only. Like, okay, so this month I am going with the something is going on the sale, so using this application, using this website, people is going to connect with our databases, right? Or people has to connect with this application, or this application server is required lot of RAM, lot of memory, etc. So that thing, if it is the on-prem paper, people was sitting, they are planning before, right? But if you are going with the cloud, it's very easy to handle it, right? You are thinking, okay, so tomorrow I have to go with this some sale, big billion sale. So what I will do, I will just scale up my server, right? And I can scale down also, so when there is no use of server, right? So that also the facility is there into the Azure, so you can do the scale down. But it is not available into the on-prem. You have just increased the server, like RAM, you have increased from some X to Y, right? But coming back to X, it is very difficult in the on-prem. And even for, if you want to scale up also, it is little bit difficult that time, because you need the proper planning. But in cloud, this is not, it is when you decided, you can increase anytime, even you can decrease also. Okay. So next is like less people is required to handle the infra. Of course, even I have seen like one SQL server DBA is only creating the VMware, it is installing the SQL server, he is handling some network related stuff also. It is a small scale company. If you are going, there is a startup I have seen, like all work they have given to that person. Even in nowadays, I have seen into the big company also, they are just giving the multiple of work to the SQL DBA. Like, you now you have cloud, you go and perform this operation, and if you required any help, then you go talk with that respective team. And if you are talking about respective team, because work is reduced, all work will be done by the single people. So what they are doing, they are just decreasing the count of the team. Like, of course, if you are building something on cloud, and of course it's required some networking concept, it's required some OS level of concept, it's required some storage level of concept, right? So there will be separate team will be there. But in the each team, like before they are handling like 10 people, now they having just one or two people, just they are just putting, giving the support. Like, if SQL DBA is not able to handle those kind of things, so you can go and you can talk with them. So like that, it was there. Next is like on demand resource providing, um, provisioning. So it is like when you required anything, you can provide those resources, right? In the cloud, it is very very simple. Next is elasticity. Elasticity means uh, just scaling up. When you want to scale up, you can just scale up your server anytime. So that is also very very great features. Coming to next is no need to plan the capacity. We can add or remove any resource anytime. So you don't have to do the capacity planning. In the earlier days, people were sitting, they are doing the capacity planning, which server I have to use, when to use, and how much people is going to connect. This month's data has increased like 1 GB to 10 GB, so maybe 6 month the space issue has to not come, right? So whether the RAM is good or not. So there is a lot of planning people was doing before, but nowadays it's not, because anytime if you want to add that memory, you can add, and anytime you want to remove, you can remove very easily into the cloud. Next is stop maintaining the data center. Before, people, each company was handling their old data center. They having their own server, they having their own hardware. So this everything, because in the cloud come into the picture. So now we are taking everything into the rent. So it is very simple. So that's why nowadays we are not handling the data center, because data center is there with the some different company. Like in Azure, it will be there with the Microsoft, and Microsoft, it is going to handle the data center. So data center, if we are not going to handle, so of course cost is going to reduce. So what is data center and all, I have explained in infra as a services course, right? So you can go there and you can just visit that course, so you will come to know in the more detail. I don't want to discuss multiple of things which one I have discussed in that course. I will tell you to go and refer some courses. I will some topic I will tell you, because theoretical I will go very less here. I will more focus on to the practical and real time scenario. And next is go global in minutes. So when we are working on the on-prem, it is taking months of time to bring the build the server and go live, right? But in the cloud, in within 10 minutes, your server will be ready and you will start working on this. Okay, coming to next, in market there is a lot of cloud is available. Like you can see the Azure cloud, Google cloud, AWS cloud, HP cloud, Alibaba cloud. So there is the many cloud is available, and all cloud will work onto the same concept only. But what I will suggest you, at least one cloud you learn thoroughly. Either you go with the Azure, you go with the Google cloud, AWS, anything. And if you are going to learn the one cloud, so everything will be the almost same into the cloud. Only the term what we are talking in Azure, that term is going to be changed into the Google cloud or AWS. And of course it is not 100% same, but there will be some 20% of changes will be there, but concept remaining the same. So at least you learn any cloud, and after that you can easily able to handle any cloud. Coming to next means why I have choose the Azure cloud, because the Azure cloud is cheaper than AWS 50%. And even I am discussing here Microsoft Azure cloud, so of course I will be give you some benefit compared to other cloud, because we are going to discuss here the Azure cloud, right? So Azure is providing more than 2200 plus services, right? Azure cloud is reliable, securable, and cost effective. And Azure cloud is one of the leading cloud service provider into the market. Next is, it is also providing the advisor, machine learning, Cosmos DB, Azure DevOps, etc. So it is also almost same how what are the thing other cloud provider is providing, right? And next is excellent support by Microsoft. So if any issue you are getting or you are not able to fix it, and you want to go with take the Microsoft suggestion, easily you can go there and you can create the ticket with the Microsoft. They will help you on that. uh, Next is like Azure is the part of public cloud. So whatever cloud you are going to see, this all are the Google cloud or Azure cloud, this all are the part of public cloud, whatever we are going to discuss. Next is like types of Azure services. If you are going to talk about types of Azure services, there is three types is available. One is infrastructure as a services. That one I have already created the course, and you go and visit it. That is this course. Um, PowerShell for Azure SQL DBA. IaaS means infrastructure as a services with networking concept. Go with this course. So there I have already explained about infrastructure as a services, and other services is platform as a services. That one we are going to learn in this course. Okay, and next is software as a services. If somebody will ask you what type of what are the services is available into the Azure, you can tell there is three services. One is called infrastructure as a services, platform as a services, and software as a services, right? So software as a services, there is nothing to take with database. So if you are talking about SQL Server DBA, or you want to learn the DBA concept, this will software as a services will not come into the picture. If you are going to learn the SQL DBA, then either you can go with the infrastructure as a services or platform as a services. Okay, so coming to next means this all whatever thing you are saying, it is you have to manage. If you are going with your infrastructure as a services, you have to manage your own application, you have to manage your own data, you have to manage your own runtime, you have to manage your own middleware, and you have to manage your own OS, right? But if you are talking about platform as a services, only you are managing your application and you are managing your data. Means you have the SQL server, and SQL server whatever you are going to insert, that is the data. So these things only you are managing. Data is yours and application is yours, right? Remaining everything is managed by your Microsoft. That thing we have already discussed, but again, because this is the past course and I have to discuss onto this, right? Coming to next means now I'm going with few differences between the IaaS and PaaS, means infrastructure as a services and platform as a services. You can see here Windows is not available into the mm, uh, PaaS, right? And it is OS is available into the infrastructure as a services. You can see infrastructure as a services means it is Microsoft is providing the infrastructure. Here it is just providing the platform. So you can see here OS is managed by whom? OS is managed by your Microsoft into the past. And infrastructure as a services, OS you are going to manage operating system. That only I have told into this PPT. So Windows is available. So OS is available in infrastructure as a services, and in past there is no OS is available. So OS who is managing the OS? So operating system is managed by your Microsoft into the platform as a services, right? So if there is no operating system, so who will managing the patch? So of course that all patches will be managed by your Microsoft, not by you. So Microsoft will manage the all patching in this infrastructure as a services, because this OS is available here. So all DBA has to manage the patch, right? Here you don't have to manage the patch, right? Because there is no OS. No OS means how you will copy the executable file, how you are going to patch your OS, or how you are going to patch the SQL server. It is not. So because you are not doing any patch here, so of course there will be no downtime. And here in infrastructure services, we have OS and we only have to do the patching. So of course it's required some downtime. Okay, so next is DBA has to manage the SQL server version, because there is the OS and it is almost same as your on-prem. I can say it is almost same, not 100% same, because in the last video that infrastructure as a services, where I have explained multiple of things, how it is different. Your infrastructure as a services, cloud infrastructure as a services is different compared to your on-prem. So on-prem, you have your own VM. So if you will compare with infrastructure as a services, there is a lot of differences you will get. If you want to know what are the differences, you can go and visit my infrastructure as a services course for Azure. That one I have shown you. Okay, so I'm not going to discuss those things here. So next is DBA has to manage the SQL server version, and here SQL Server version having the latest version. So in the whole world, so what is the version of the PaaS? It will be the same for the all in the world. So who are using? Because Microsoft is going to manage this highest version for the platform as a services. So cross query we can perform. So if you are talking about infrastructure as a services, there you can cross query we work. Means I can say if you are there in the master database and you want to use some other user database, you can writing that use that other database name. It will work. But in the past, it is not going to work. That one we will see into the next video session. Once we'll go for the practical. So no cross query will work into the pass. If the cross query is not working, there is some alternative is there. That one we are going to discuss into the upcoming video session, right? So if there is no OS, right? So RDP will be not possible into the pass, right? And but for RDP is possible into the infrastructure as a services, because you are using the RDP, then only you will go inside your server. Next is SQL Server agent is present into the infrastructure as a services, but in platform as a services, there is no SQL Server agent. If the SQL Server agent is not available, so there I can say there is the multiple of just I will try to connect with my server and then I will explain you here. Wait for a few seconds. So if the agent is not able to, if the agent is not available into the pass, so what will be happen? So you will not able to do some automation, right? You will not able to automate your task. Okay, just I will. It is not my Azure cloud. It is my on-prem, which one I have installed in my laptop. Wait, what happened? Okay, of 2012. Okay, now it is connected. So now you see, so if there is no agent, SQL Server agent is not available, so you will not able to create any job. You will not able to schedule any job. You don't have any alert. You don't have any operator. You don't have any proxy. You don't have any airlock for this job. So this everything is gone. So I can say if there is no SQL Server agent, so which kind of thing we cannot create here. But there is some alternative is there, that one we are going to discuss into the next upcoming video. What are the thing it is given provided by the Microsoft, which one you can do, what are the alternative is available for this. So no application dependency. So here in IAS, there is, you don't have to see so what your application will support. Directly you can go and you can install that version, right? But here application dependency is there. Why application dependency? Because your SQL Server is going to learn on it is going to be run on to the latest version. So if any application is not compatible with your latest version, that time it is not suitable for you. PaaS is platform as a services is not suitable, because then it is become the application dependency. It will be there. Next is it's don't having contain DB, and database is called as contain DB. So in PaaS database, in PaaS it is nothing but it's your database as a services. Each database having their own identity, I can say, right? So each database having the itself, it is the one identity, right? But into the infrastructure as a services, you are working on the instance level. Mi is also work on the instance level. That one we are going to discuss into the later video session. So database called contain DB, but here not all contain, because PaaS is again it is having the two part. One is Azure SQL DB and one is called the like PaaS is again divided into the two category, right? So one is called um, Azure DB and other one is called MI. That one we are going to discuss. If you are going with MI, then there is no content database. But if you are going for Azure SQL DB, so there will be database is called the content DB. That one we are going to discuss in the next video session, right? Next is migration is easy and no application dependency, right? So where you want to migrate, just example, if you want to migrate any databases, so how it is there into the on-prem, same thing you can migrate into the Azure infrastructure as a services. What I want to say you, if you have any application, right, and that application is using two different databases, right? Or if you have any stored procedure, that one is using some cross query, means it is taking the data from the two databases, right? So so it will be possible into the on-prem, so it is possible into the SS infrastructure as a services. But PaaS, you cannot join the two table, right? Two table is available into the two different database. So that's why your all script, whatever you have written the code into the backend, it is going to be failed. So if you want to migrate, so structural change is required into that all table which is available into the different database, you have to put into the same database, because cross query will not work into the platform as a services. For this, some structure changes is required into the structure changes, code changes is required uh, into your for your application. Coming to next, other is I have given, we can move the data file and log file, of course, because you have the OS and you are able to go inside the operating system. You are able to go using the remote desktop connection. You can go, you can see that what are the drive is available, so where that your user database file is available. If you want to move from one location to other location, it is possible. In PaaS it is not possible, because RDP itself it is not possible. You cannot go inside that server, right? So that's why I have written that moving the data file, it is not possible into the platform as a services. Because there is OS into the infrastructure as services, so you can go how I have went for services.msc, and if I want to stop any services I can stop, if I want to start I can start. But in PaaS you cannot do the RDP, so you cannot go inside that server where the database is installed or available. So you cannot do anything, stop or start any services related to SQL server, either it is agent or it is SQL Server. Anyhow, agent you cannot, it will be not available only. So you can talk about SQL Server services. Okay. Next is database mail is available into the infrastructure services, but in PaaS it is not available. But there is some alternative method. It is there. That one we are going to discuss into the later video session. So it is going to support the link server. So you can create the link server into the infrastructure as a services, but in platform as a services you can't create. That one we are going to discuss uh, there. Okay, then again we are going to discuss something called PaaS. I told you in PaaS there is two types, right? So one is Azure SQL DB and other one is your what? I told you there is two part. One is called your so this is your VM, means it is the IaaS infrastructure. This is nothing but infrastructure as a services. This full is called as PaaS. Then again, PaaS is divided into the two part. One is called managed instance, and one is Azure SQL DB. So whatever I am discussing now, that is for the Azure SQL DB, right? So for that I am saying that it is not links, creating the link server is not possible, right? Next is like it will not going to support, it is going to not going to support the .bak file into the PaaS. So how we are going to take the backup for Azure SQL DB? So for that we have to no, there is some alternative method is there for creating the backup, which will be done by Microsoft. So that one we are going to discuss into the later video session. Next is means ability groups. If you want to create, not, it is not possible into the platform as a services. Clustering, of course it is not possible, because you don't have OS. How you will going to install the um, your cluster features, right? So that's why it is also not possible. Mirroring, lock shipping, that is also not possible. But there is some alternative. That one we are going to discuss into the next video session. Next is virtual machine. You can create into the infrastructure as a services, but into the platform as a services you can't create. But here you can create, that is called SQL DB. And SQL database is, again it is divided into the two part, that is single or elastic, and next is managed instance. So going with the next video session now, no, next PPT. So again I will explain you here. So in the Azure SQL, having this three three part, that is called PaaS, as and SaaS, software as a services. Software as a services, nothing to deal with your database, right? So leave it there. Now we have only PaaS, platform as a services, and next is infrastructure as a services. So this one, whatever you are saying, creating the VM, this will come under infrastructure as a services. So this is nothing but infrastructure as a services. Then this two is nothing but your PaaS. This two is PaaS, platform as a services. So what I can say, platform as a services is divided into the two part. That is, one is called managed instance and other one is called SQL database. And in this video session, we are going to learn about this two, not this. This one is already created the course. You can go which one I have explained. This one I will create the next course on this, and then you can watch. And this is one we are going to learn today. So what you are saying in the Azure SQL DB is again divided into the two part. That is, one is called single DB and one is called elastic pool. So what I can say, in the SQL DB having the three services, but as if you are talking about database services, it's having only PaaS and as platform as a services and infrastructure as a services. This is nothing but is the infrastructure as a services, and this is nothing but your platform as a services. Then again, platform as a services is divided into the two part. One is Azure managed instance. This is also PaaS, and Azure SQL DB. This is also the PaaS, right? Then is again in Azure SQL DB is divided into the two part, that is called single DB model and elastic pool model. So next one we are going to discuss on this two only, not this. And this one already I have created the course. Coming to next means what is single DB model. So same thing only I have explained here, means if you are talking about PaaS, so PaaS is divided into the two part, that is called managed instance and this one. So this is nothing but it is the same single DB model or PaaS. This is nothing but your Azure SQL DB. This is the managed instance. Okay. So now what I will do, I will go with the next PPT. You can see what is single DB model. So I have written the definition above. It is so actually what is the single DB model? In the single DB model, each database is using their own hardware, right? So each database having their own hardware. So if this is the database, this is associated with this hardware, CPU, memory, and IO. In the other database is just for it's having their its own hardware, memory. If other database, like if you are creating the four database and you are putting into the single DB model, so this all database having their own hardware, right? And if you are talking about elastic pool means same CPU memory is had been shared by every database. So you have like 1 GB of RAM. So 1 GB of RAM is going to be shared by this all DB, right? It's don't having separate hardware for it. So that is the thing which one we are discussing. So that only I have given. It is a collection of database. So elastic pool, what is the elastic pool? It is the collection of database and provided a cost effective solution for managing multiple of database. Okay, so the database can be moved in and out from elastic pool. That is, if your database is there in the single DB model, if you want you can move it to elastic pool. That is possible into the um, Azure cloud. So what you understood, in the elastic pool, common hardware is there for the each database, and in the single DB model, each having their own hardware. So we can say that separate hardware is provided into the single DB model, and elastic pool model, it is the common hardware is required for the all databases. Okay, coming to next, it is just a practical. So I will go to my Azure portal, and then we are going to discuss this. So you go to the Azure portal. I am using something called pay as you go services. Okay, this is my Azure. Sorry, I have put. I'm going to the home now. Home, and just you can type here Azure SQL. Azure SQL, hit on okay, and just go with create. So once you will hit on create, you can see there is a three option it is coming here. The same thing which one I have discussed. This is the Azure. This is the this is the virtual machine. So this is nothing but yours infrastructure as a services, because you are able to create the virtual machine here. These two is nothing but these two is your PaaS services. So either you can go with the SQL DB or either you can go with the managed instance. So managed instance we are not going to learn here. And again, there is something concept is called single DB, elastic pool, and database server. Don't worry here, it is showing the third option, because if you want to create any databases, you have to create the server. So that's why this option is coming here. Either you go create the server, and while creating the database, you can use that server But basically there is two types only, that is the single DB and elastic pool. Single DB means each database having their own hardware, and elastic pool means it is it is nothing but it is your no common hardware is shared between the each databases. So in the next video session we'll go with the demo, and we have to learn multiple of things here. And in the next video session I'm going to explain those things. So that's it for the today class. Just go and watch my next video session. There I will explain you on the practical and lot of concept related to Microsoft PaaS, platform as a services. So thanks for watching this video. Please continue to watch my next video session. Thank you so much.